Okay, the unboxing. The Quantum Audio QWX4000 8D4. I believe it only come in D4. We know that Quantum Audio is part of the DB Research Group, which has the Euphoria line, their Quantum Audio line, and their DB Drive line. I do not know how. I think that Euphoria is supposed to be their sound quality line. The DB Drive supposed to cover both facets, as far as sound quality and SPL, and the Quantum Audio line. I'm thinking maybe it's the entry level, but they got some very good products like that 3008 that I tested. We saw how it performed. It sounded exceptionally well, and it had a strobe ferrite magnet. Had its own stamp steel bag. Now I think it had if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, go back to the video, but I thought maybe it had a 2.5 inch voice core. I don't know. I gotta remember that. Go back to the channel in the video and see. But this one here is a 2-inch high temperature voice core, compressed paper cone, stitch foam surround, and all the other stuff they talk about there. It's got its own basket. It has a mounting depth of 5.5 inches. Standard cutout, 7.38 cutout. The FS is 51, so it's pretty high. Even though the FS is 51, what's interesting is that the QTS is 0.415. Now that means it's leaning toward a sealed enclosure. And also, since it's an imported application, it's going to sound exceptionally well. Most subs average with a QTS of 0.5, which is the average of the mechanical and the electrical. The force factor of the magnet is BL. 9.8 is 9.87 Tesla meters, which you might say, well, that's not a lot. But when you look at the MMS, which is the measure, the grams, the weight of the soft parts is only 90 grams. So that's nice motor force for something so with a low MMS. Now, might be why the FS is so high, because most times the higher the MMS, the deeper the bass. So the MMS being that light, then the FS tends to be high. You don't need an overly large motor force when you don't have that much weight of the soft parts. So, that should move this cone very, very fast. It should be very, very accurate, which makes me think it's really geared for SPL purposes. That 4,000 watt, well, I know in my system I'm not going to be able to test to see if it does that. But let's open it up, which I have done here. And let's see if we can see what the manual says. So we instantly greeted by the manual, which says that the 4,000 comes in at 8, 10, 12, 15. 8, 10, 12, and 15. It says it's D4. And let's see if it gives us any more instructions other than what it says in the box. It says for port enclosure you need 1.16, tune 38 for the 8. For the 10, it's 1.5. For the 12, 1.18. And for the 15, 3 cubic feet. The 12 and the 15 is recommending tuning is 35 hertz. For the 8 and the 10, recommending tuning is 38. You can tune it wherever you want to tune to. So you know I'm going to tune mine low. So we're going to put it in my test box with the displacement. We can find out what that is. It should be, if it's a low displacement, the tuning will probably drop down to 32. If it's a high displacement, it might go up to 33, 34. But it needs 1.16 cubes with 16 or with 9 square inch support area. Where they use that 3-inch port. The port area can be whatever you deem it to be based on the BL, X-Max, and motor strength. So I already read the BL parameters. has changed. It says the exact same thing they said on the outside of the box. It only comes D4. And that's pretty much it. I really believe this is a rebag sub. It's maybe another, but I'm gonna get a look at it to see if they actually did something different. Okay, we get the nice packaging, foam for the packaging, keep the woofer protected. And let's get that boy out of here. Let's see what we got. There's nothing else included in the box. Off the bat, I'm going to tell you for sure that this subwoofer is not handling no 4,000 watt. Not maybe on a burp, but it's definitely not handling 4,000 RMS. It's not a strong fire motor, and I'm wondering, looking at it, if possible, the numbers below the performance level. It did say 4,000. And the other 8 said 3,000. And I remember I was skeptical about the QW4000 until I actually heard it perform. And I said, hey, yeah, we got a winner. So take that in consideration as we examine this one here. 2-inch voice coil, thin back piece, bump back plate, cheap rubber boot. I'm not gonna say it's this basket. I've seen this basket on Scar Audio's Scar Audio Sundown SA8 version 1.5. The tinsel leads are sewn into the progressive roll spider, which is just glued down. This is the spider here, gentlemen. This is the spider. It only has a single spider. Not a high surround. It's more wide and fat than high. Dust cap, plastic. And you know I love DB Drop research product, but I don't see how they spend a lot of money in this. The cone is non-pressed. Yeah, it's kind of smooth, shouldn't press. The former, I can see the windings on the voice coil windings. I can see on the former. It does not tell me what kind of former it is. That single spider. There's nothing here to tell me that this subwoofer is even going to handle 2,000 watts. To be honest with you. But with an 8-inch driver, why would you even need 2,000 watts? I just need to handle 500 to 750 and give me good output and be accurate. So, the top plate maybe 1/4 inch thick. Seems as though it might have just a single slug. But don't never let looks, remember I said never let looks trick you to think how it's supposed to perform. It's just taking out the box and looking at the basket, and the design, the soft parts, the spider, looking at things that we're looking at. We're looking at the high surround. I mean, I'm curious as to why they didn't tell us what the X-Max on this subwoofer is. So, really they didn't give us that much information about it altogether. That does not mean that it might not be a good subwoofer, but it didn't give us that much information. In fact, they gave us less information on this subwoofer than they gave us on the 3000, which leads me to believe that the numbers belie what's actually happening. This might be the entry level, and the 3000 might be a step above this. I was very impressed with the 3000 performance when we put that at 2 ohms on the Falls gate, and it did exceptionally well. Y'all seen the video. So we're gonna put this in a box, and we're gonna see exactly what it can and cannot do. This surround. Now, people say, well, that high surround is gonna limit the X-Max. Not necessarily true. I've had experience with Atomic Audio with the AP8 and the APX8, and it has a surround similar to this. It's not protruding. And if you know anything about Sundown went from their SA8 version, the X8 version 1 and version 2 actually had a taller surround than the version 3. And I was told because there was an excess, it wasn't really needed. So they saved some of that material. Didn't really came on the cost, but they saved some material and brought the subwoofer down and actually got more excursion. So just because the surround is not high does not mean it's not going to excursion. Let me tell you something too. When you test the subwoofer, this is not what you want to do to see the excursion, how far to go in and out. You want to put your hand behind and push forward. To see the movement. I know the whining height on this form is very, very high. It's almost up to the triple joint, straight up. So it's overhaul design, meaning that the voice core windings protrude higher than the gap. Not a whole lot of gimmickry. I mean, we're gonna see. We will put the subwoofer in the box and see how it performs. I just wanted to do the unboxing with you and let y'all look at it. In the comments, I'll probably tell you how much you can get these from me. You can get a lot of DB Drive research products strictly for me, shipped to you with a warranty. Just get it, comments, and I'll tell you what we can and cannot do. All right? But this is it. The 4000.